Hi, I'm Sunny, better known as Everest here previously. I've had 15 fursuits. Let's talk about it. So hi, welcome. I've been sitting on this video idea for a hot minute. I've been wanting to make it for the past couple of months. Just to kind of go over like my own personal history with just being in the furry fandom. I've been in the furry fandom since late, I think it was like December of 2011. So 15 years, or almost 15 years. And yeah, recently there's been some online discussion about the art of fursuit collecting, right? And there's a lot of discourse online about people who do fursuit collect because it's something that a lot of people will look at and be like, oh, that's a lot of fursuits, you must be so well off, you must be so wealthy, I could never afford that. It really just, in my experience of it, it just depends. Like, obviously there's people who are wealthy in the fandom and they pour a lot of money into artists, and that's very cool, but there's also just people who have collected because they've been in the fandom for a very long time. So I just want to, and that's my personal experience. I'm not somebody that's well off by any means. In fact, most of the fursuits that you see here around me on this couch were purchased like 2022 and older than that. So a lot of them, or a lot of the more expensive ones, were pre-COVID, right? When things were a little bit more affordable in the fandom. And there's also just like, furry in my experience is a lot more fun if you have a lot of like friends and connections. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a furry if you don't have a fursuit or if you haven't made any friends yet. You can do furry conventions and you can go and be a furry just as is, but it's so much more enjoyable when you are surrounded by people who are like you, right? There are people who will make and collect suits over time via, if they're a fursuit maker, if they support smaller artists, if they support artists that are out of the country, or even just buying a fursuit from somebody that's really name branded. Again, that depends on how much you want to spend into it, right? I have a lot of suits, and I've had a lot of suits because I like supporting smaller makers, I like supporting newer makers, and I'm a fursuit maker, so I like doing fursuit trades. I might show it off, I don't know yet, but I'm currently doing a trade with an artist named, locally to me, Monoceros Creations / Hey There Dear Lila, and she's making my boyfriend's character into a fursuit, and I'm making one of her characters into a fursuit. And that's an easy way to just get into it, is having, I don't want to say having connections, because that's not what I mean at all, but like just branching out a little bit. You don't have to buy from brand name, like people that are out of your budget, right? So it's just, I don't know, it's something that's been a big discourse lately, and I wanted to just talk about my personal history with all of the fursuits that I've had, right? I do think it's important to note as well that the more that you're into furry, you can have multiple characters, because again, it's something that, like, all of them are things that you create, right? They're important to you in different aspects, in different ways. I have characters that are partially just me, and I have characters that are just bits of myself that I wish I could be like. I have actively 26 characters. Furry, in my experience, is if you get drawn to an adoptable online, right? You get drawn to a pre-made, that's you being like, I see myself in this creature, I want to buy it. Or say you are like, oh, I don't know how to draw, or I can't draw, but I have this like concept of the character that I want in mind. Peak, that's great. You can go to an artist and just spitball ideas to them, and they can make a character for you. Like, it's so easy to get involved into it. The other day, my boyfriend doesn't draw, and I do, and he has a character that he wanted to make and to create, so he came to me and was like, hey, here's these concepts, here's what I want out of this character. He wanted me to make a shark dog, which is this creature over here, which is a shark and a dog hybrid. and he was like, I want it to be a whale shark blue Labrador hybrid. And I was like, cool, great, we can do that. So he just sent me a list of things, and I drew a ref for him, and I'll put it here. You can do that, right? Furry is so cool because you make characters and creations of things that are just personal and close to you. That's what furry is. There are people who collect in multiple different characters, and there's people who have multiple different characters, and there's also, in the topic of fursuit collection, there are people who have multiple fursuits by different makers of one character. I'm friends with the maker who made Hula, right, my shark dog, and she's currently making hand paws for my fursona, Sunny, because I'm making him into a fursuit soon. And I did a fursuit trade with her in order to do that. And she's somebody who has, I have no idea what the number is nowadays, but she has a lot of fursuits from different makers, and still counting, of just one character. Like, you're allowed to do that. That's pretty damn cool. I think it's awesome. You saw it in the early 2010s with a maker, the main artist of Made For You, the fursuit company. Their name is Cyber. They had what was called the Cyber Army, right? That's how, like, early this has been going on as a thing in the fandom of fursuit collection. At the end of the day, you are supporting artists, right? And that's what I think is so cool about the furry fandom, is that you are supporting art. These are handmade, one-of-a-kind, like, art sculptures, and they mean a lot to a lot of different people, and I think that's very cool. But yeah, you can have multiple characters and fursuits that you vibe with and associate with, and it's the same with fursuit collecting. I love every single one of my fursuits that I've had and that I currently have, right? They're all in some way, shape, or form me, you know, and that's pretty cool. It's very important to note that they are loved. I think that's the big thing that a lot of people are like talking about, is if you have like a lot of fursuits, there's that fear of, oh, it's just hoarding, oh, they're just collecting dust. If they're well taken care of, and it's kind of like the same as like collecting figurines, right? Or collecting plushies. I have a lot of plushies. I'm somebody that used to, when I was younger, I used to collect Webkins. I had over 100 Webkins at one point. I love them. They're very cool. If you just do it out of the love of the game, I see nothing wrong with that. On top of that, it's your money, you know? It's your hobby. You're allowed to just do what you want. So it's just, I don't know. It's something that's been a big discourse lately, and I wanted to just talk about my personal history with all of the fursuits that I've had, right? And I don't know where I'm going to be editing things, so editing Sunny, hey, if you want to do things in chronological order, put it here at the beginning of the beginning, I guess.
Editing Sunny. Whoa. So here we are. I'm gonna start at the very beginning, and just a warning, the first fursuit that I've ever made, not gonna look great, as most first fursuits do. So here we go, I guess. This is Dagger. Dagger was made in March of 2012 by my grandfather and I using 1-inch foam, a can of spray paint on the nose, Walmart Sherpa type of fur. It kind of felt like a wool type of fur. It wasn't great. Fleece for the ears, same with like the around the eyes, painted flimsy mesh for the eyes, and a foamy tongue with a pool noodle for a tail, and oven mitts for hand paws. And then next up we've got Monty Shepherd 1.0. It was made in October 2012, created by entirely my grandma. This full suit featured very tiny eye holes with Sharpied on eyes. If I remember correctly, we basically took the actual human size, like, dimensions of my eyes, a chicken wire in the ear to make the floppy ear bendable, and a Velcro zipper for the bodysuit. So it wasn't actually a zipper, it was just a strip of Velcro. Yeah, this was the first Monty, but I love him. He's very dear to me. Alright, next up we have Grimm's Story 1.0. He was made in February of 2014. He was my first floppy ear on a fursuit head, which was very cool to learn at that age. If I remember correctly, I made the base for him while Blackfang Wusky helped fur him, but this was my angsty, edgy Sona for a long time. I still have this character to this day. I don't have any actual... I might have like some pictures of the suit finished, but I think the image I'm going to use was a work in progress picture, so that's a little sad. I don't remember what happened to the suit, unfortunately. Same with Dagger. I think we destroyed both of these fursuits as time went on. Alright, next up is Monty Shepard 2.0. He was made in November of 2014. Headbase was created by Bronxine, furred and finished by Tippet Dreamer Studios. This was my main fursuit for many, many years. I bought the hand paws at Comic-Con a few years back and wore Monty for everything. I seriously cannot thank Bronx and Raven enough for bringing him to life for me back when I was 15 years old, because he really did bring me so much joy to wear over the years. Alright, and then Grim Story 2.0. He was made in November of 2015. Headbase was made by me. The muzzle was made by Bronx. And he was furred and finished by Blackfang Wusky, along with hand paws made by Blackfang as well. This was the second version of my angsty, edgy character. He featured a stuffed mohawk, a resin nose by DVC, and a heavy clay gauge in the pointy ear. He was probably the heaviest head I've ever worn. Rod the Bat, made in July of 2016. Headbase was made by Bronx, and face was furred by him, and the rest was finished by Blackfang Wusky and I. This was my goofy little gay bat boy that I designed around a kigurumi or onesie that I had purchased at Comic-Con as a teenager. I ended up giving him to a local furry friend many years later. Monty Shepard 3.0 was made in July of 2017. Headbase was made by Bronx, and literally everything else was made by Zach Ziotti, or Zaxxas Ziotti. My main fursona got an upgrade. Floppy ear had marbles in it to keep the air weighted. Such a special fursuit to me, for real. This was my first real full suit experience. I also miss him. I think he had interchangeable tongues that had magnets inside of them. I think this was the first experience I had with a fursuit with magnets, which was pretty cool. Everest 1.0. I talk about it a little bit when I talk about current Everest. I go over his history a little bit, but he was made in May of 2019. I was asked to model this fursuit at first for a fursuit maker who I won't share the name of. But once I put on the suit, I knew it was game over for my wallet. I came up with his name literally in the car on the way to the photo shoot, since I just loved him so much.
That leads us to now, right? Everest. I purchased him from a maker who is no longer in the fandom for the sake of she has a beware on her. Not a good person. It's in the link tree in my bio if you want to go and look for it. I'm just not going to be naming names. So I bid on it and I won the auction. And he is probably my most expensive fursuit, that I will talk about the prices of everything, just to try to get the point across of like, hey, you can do this on a budget, right? There's makers who take payment plans. That's how I got him. I purchased Everest for, I think it was $2,900 something, and I did it as a payment plan while working at a retail job at the age of like 19. I was making minimum wage. I was making like probably $12 an hour. Like, I was not making a lot of money, and I purchased this suit via payment plan. He came as a mini partial, and then I still have my original hands and tail. This was the original tail, right? And these were the original hands. But yeah, I did that in 2019, and he became my main character. And Everest for me was I don't know how to really explain it, but he was more of a like way of me exploring, like, I came out as trans in 2017, and so 2 years later I got this fursuit and was like, I'm gonna explore gender identity and my sexuality just through this character. And that's why he was so important to me, and why and I love that a lot of people love him, because of the fact that he was just so important to me in that aspect. He is not someone that I wear around much anymore, for personal reasons. I just don't connect with him anymore like that. So I've stopped really wearing him, but like, I don't have a fursuit of my fursona yet, so I'm wearing him for the video. But so in 20 2022, I think, or like early 2022, maybe end of 2021. The Warrior document came out about the maker of Everest. I was involved in that. I have some trauma with that. I'm not gonna go into it. You can go read the doc if you want. I then sent Everest off to Rat Race Fursuits, or Rat Racers, to get a refurb. So this is still the original base. The only thing that's still original on it, though, other than like of what you can physically see, are the antlers. I had everything else redone, and that cost me like $900 something. So total, Everest cost me close to $4K, and that's not including any of the art I have of him. I then also commissioned my friend Blackfang Wusky on TikTok, also known as Two-Headed Seamstress, is his fursuit company, for the hands, the tail, and then the arm sleeves. And I'm not oh, and the feet paws. Feet paws are down there too. So yeah, he was the most expensive. And again, I did all of this over time, right? It wasn't an all-at-once expense. It was while I worked a shitty minimum wage job at first with payment plans, and then after the doc came out, I was working from home, and I made a lot more money, and I was at a financial point in life where I could afford to do all of that. But again, I am not a well-off person whatsoever. I will say that with my full chest. I work for a lot of what I have, and I've collected things over the 15 years that I've been in the fandom. Alright, and then so I time skipped a little bit with the refurb, but after Everest, I commissioned Hula. I got you in 2020, so hold on. This is Comet. He's very cool. I like him a lot. This suit, just the head, was made in 2017. So he is almost 10 years old. He was made, the head base was made by McCoolsey, and then furred by Dream Machine Fursuits, or Dream Machine Costumes. I love him. He's the suit that I lend out to friends and like close friends, because he's kind of vintage. I want it to be treated with care, but he's a great first suit for a lot of people because he's so like roomy and spacey and comfy. His hands and his tail were made by Blackfang Wusky, because he is a Comet, is a joint character in a joint suit, because like it's cool to co-own characters. I don't see a lot of people do that anymore. I'm somebody that grew up on DeviantArt, so like you'd see it back in the early day, where people would co-own characters into fursuits together. But Blackfang Wusky has been my best friend for like 20 years, so I trust him with a lot of like things like that. He technically has a bodysuit. I don't fit into it. So if you ever see Comet in full suit, that's Blackfang. He has feet, which I don't have. He has the bodysuit, which I don't have, and then the tail and the hands were made by Blackfang, and the head separately. Yeah, this character is kind of like my mascot for my friends and I. Every time that he gets art, everyone kind of freaks out and is very excited because he's the mascot for my friend group. So I love Comet. He is a special boy. I like to see people draw him, just because it's special. My favorite part of the suit is the little like the stars on the neck fluff. They're like plush. They're just sewn plush stars into the neck, and I think that's very cool. Now Kula. Goodbye, tail. Hula is my golden retriever black tip reef shark hybrid character. He was the fursona for me at the time of like, I'd say age 18 to 23. He was Hula I designed, right? Because I like sharks and I like golden retrievers as of my current persona. The Hula I got from Saber Studios, or Flake Wusky. I commissioned her around the time of when she first started making suits. So this was 2021, I think. But yeah, it makes him, what, 5 years old now? I commissioned her for the hands and the head at the time. And that cost me, if I remember correctly, $550. And then I commissioned Black Fang Wusky again for the tail, which is over here. And then his feet paws are on the ground. I'll try to show off a picture of him like fully. I think that's what I'll do, just because I don't want to. It's hot. I don't want to change. His feet paws I commissioned from Splinter Fox Studios for a little over $100. So total, I think, I don't remember how much I paid for the tail. He was closer to like $700. I'm only saying the prices, not to brag at all, that's not my point of this, just to say like, hey, you can find small artists that charge less than $1,000 in the fandom, and it's great to support a small artist. I love it. That's what, my prices aren't super expensive because of the fact that I'm also a small artist. Like, it's good. It's great to do that. But yeah, he was less than $1,000, and he's so near and dear to my heart because he's a character that I designed and is me. He's very, very cool. I've done dance comps in him. I've done dance comps in Everest. Yeah, it was great. I love his hands. I love his hands so much. But yeah, he was made in like 2021, so he's a 5-year-old suit at this point. Everest was made in 2019, so he's 7, I think. Wowie. Oh, I miss you, Nanners. God, I love this fursuit. He's so cool. This video is mostly just like, it's a little bit me rambling about Fursuit collection and why I think it's so cool, but it's also like, I'm labeling it my personal Fursuit history video, because I like talking about all the characters and the things that I've done over the years. Like, I've been in the fandom for a very long time, so I want to share my experience with that, because I think it's neat to see things like that. Anyways, I love this suit. This is Nanners. He is my banana monkey character. I bought him from 2 small makers on Instagram. Sun-Kissed Fursuits and Zero Millennium Fursuits, I think are their names. They both collabed on making him, so I think one artist made the hands and the tail and the other made the head. He was a pre-made that was up for grabs at FWA in 2022, so they hand-delivered the suit to the convention. Oh, I totally spaced on talking about Comet, but I got Nanners for the same price as Comet, so he was $650, and that was with the hands and the tail. Again, small artist, mini partial for under $1,000 in 2022. Great, love to see it. He's so good. I dance in this suit. I haven't worn him recently because when I was moving, I don't know what happened, but it was probably just because I had all my fursuits previously sitting in a room with like an open window. So I think his eyes got like sun damage because they're very yellow. Just the plastic is very yellow. So he's currently kind of like not retired, but I need to fix his eyes. I love how comfy he is. He's got great vision, great ventilation. The back of his head is like, there's no foam back here, so he's really lightweight. And I love dancing in him. But yeah, that's Nanners. I love him so much. This fursuit is one of my newest ones. He used to be a secret suit. I'm not really vibing with that anymore. I don't know. So this suit was made by Black Fang Wusky entirely. He's got a huge, ginormous fucking tail, because he's a strawberry-themed red panda raccoon named Bean. He initially was made as a 18-plus character, but I don't know, I've never really done anything like that, because I'm demisexual, so he's just another character for me. I love Bean. I love the idea of him because he's helped me with like body acceptance and body image stuff. But I got him in 2023 in a trade with Black Fang for my redacted fursuit maker Kawada Mundi suit. That suit I bought for close to $4,000, and it was a full suit. And again, that was the same maker who made Everest, and so I did another payment plan thing with them. And that was back in 2021 to 2022 is when I think that suit got finished. But yeah, I ended up trading that suit with Black Fang Wusky, and I got this suit in exchange. So I didn't pay anything for him. This was a fursuit trade. So I love his hands, because they're little raccoon hands. I think they're very cool. He's got interchangeable tongues. And he's got, I think they're like fish wire for like whiskers. It's cool. I bought 3D printed gauges, and I colored them in with marker for his gauges. So yeah, that's Bean. So yeah, that's it for the video. I hope this was insightful in some way, shape, or form. It's not directly just a video talking about Fursuit collection as a whole, right, and the discourse on that. But I think it's something that should not be like frowned upon, and you shouldn't be sending people threats or being mean to people because they collect things over the years. Imagine you go to your dad or like your grandpa or a family figure and be like, hey, your Star Wars collection, I think you should die. Like, that's insane, you know? And especially with furry, because you're supporting artists, right? Furry is so artistic, and that's the whole point of it, is it's so special. It comes from the hearts and the minds of so many creators and people who are so passionate about what they do. And to think that you threaten people or are mean to people because they just like collecting, it's just silly. So I don't know, I wanted to just talk about my history with my characters, and I've been wanting to do this for a minute, so I'm glad I was able to talk about it. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to give me a follow or subscribe, like the video, share it, it's really appreciated. I absolutely appreciate it. I'll take this moment to talk about how I'm open for art commissions. I've been trying to post more of my art on social media. I've been very active on ArtFight and DeviantArt and Instagram, specifically with my art, but I am open for art commissions. I'll try to display some examples here. So yeah, just reach out if you want anything. Everything costs less than $100. My ref sheets, even the most like the more detailed stuff, is less than $100. So please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be glad to work with you. Until next time, bye.